is me and Francie daughter is going to bring them 2 barrels up the road, and we're going to talk about going to the bog and cutting turf. You want to explain this?
Yes, explain over here to Jim.
Well, this is the mat and the cripple for the donkey to put on the donkey, and we put a creel in each side for first of all. We have to put it on where the meant is kicked. No, put that on there. Now, we have to tie it and put it under the tail to keep it from going forward when he has the creels on his back. Now, give me some more of that. Just have some more. Give me more. Right. Now, we have to tie them under the donkey's tail. Now, and we have to put on as the belly band. And we tighten it up that it doesn't fall down either sides. You bet me to see what you're going to get. Out.
Hey.
You're happy. And this is bringing home the turf from Mary's homestead.
That'll be the turf spade for cutting the turf, a winged spade with a cow's horn for a hand. Most of the turf's cut that way. Some are cut with a flat spade, breasted. But here in Mackin we always cut with a winged spade. This area now. The bars here. It's time more start. Time more start in there. A day in the bog you'll never forget. You can count yourself lucky if you don't get wet. There's one place on earth, I'll swear by my sound, be you cutting or wheeling, you'll never be cowed. Now filling's a job, it's a job in its own, and if you don't know how to do it, you'll be safer at home. There's a knack and a shovel, you'd need to know too. So if you run out of ground, then what would you do? The fillers may turn them this way or that, but you have the shovel to keep them well back. Now this is a job, I'm sure you'll agree, a day in the bog's meant just for 3. With 2 you're a hanging and 4's a load. 3 in the bog's all you can afford. When the hunger hits you and you think you're bait, for the tea in the bog, so that's all it's late, then it's back to the cutting, the filling, the wheeling away. There's nothing as nice as a wee mug of tea. The shovel floor you've started in long black ridges and straight to the nowhere and attacked by the midges. Well this I must tell you, my knowledgeable home, when the midges mean business you might as well head for home. When the turf are all out, the work does not stop. There's turning and spreading and footing the lot. There's rickling and clamping till your backet is broke. A good day in the bog, so that's only a choke. When they're ready for home and you think it's great, but just check out your chart pass before it's too late. Finally you've made it, your work is complete. They're in a stack or a shed at the top of the street. You can throw your legs up, lie back at your leisure. One good thing about turf, corner's a pleasure.
Hey.
And the first few barrows will go out with what's called a hand barrow, Brendan. Just it was the old way it was used before the put a wheel in the barrow. And we just put out a few barrowfuls that way. So that's it there.
Now this is the barra that they're bringing out, which has no wheel, but it has been used way back in the 17th century, and this is made by a special man from up Dreen in Genoli, and these two fellas will bring it out and you'll show them the way it's tipped up sideways. So away you go. The next thing about the bike is we had to open it with the McMahon spade.
We turn it over on the side now.
Which is the famous spade. They're very catchy on the top flower, Francis.
It's hard to cut, but it's
Take the full
easier.
flower, but it's very hard because it's just been stripped
It's dry.
and the sun has got at it.
Very dry.
Very good day for doing it.
It is indeed.
Yes. As a matter of fact, I couldn't sleep last night thinking about it.
There's a fair bit of help, I tell you.
Oh, there is. That's part of the pig.
It's part of the makeup of it.
Yes. And we'll all be cutting turf when Iraq as send no more oil over.
Good fellow, what is the for?
Hey, you boy, you get in between the shafts some more.
Hey, come on here, Marty, here now.
That's a wheelie barra.
You need to pull that bar off, you're not up straight. When history has been written and the times are passing through, and the times are passing through of the past, when the present politicians and their henchmen are all dead, will the people be enjoying peace at last? There will be a passing reference to the farmers of today and to all the drastic changes they have made. Well, I hope some keen historian will have a word to say about Fermanagh friend, the owl McMahon spade. When the mighty Eli had done his work and those that forged it died, and we hadn't got a tool to take his place, and the pretties and oat and meal that still to be supplied, or starvation stared the people in the face. Then a genius called McMahon, from the parish of Rosslea, built a foundry and put lift into a blade. He got the people's blessing and they used it every day, and so Fermanagh got the owl McMahon spade. And for many men could use it with dexterity and skill, and few sights were more beautiful to see than lines of parallel ridges in rotation on a hill, all identical in eclectic symmetry. And the mothers we were reared by one loved to take your hand and could step into the breach quite undismayed and dig your puck of pretties just as good as any man, with Fermanagh's friend, the owl McMahon spade. Now we've joined the common market, we've no need to work at all. We let the cattle loose and watch them grow. When they've eaten all the grass, we sell them in the fall, and hibernate while Arctic breezes blow. That old friend that gave us sustenance in our hour of greatest need is cast upon the scrap heap and betrayed, scorned even by the people, and helped to clothe and feed. Fermanagh's friend, the owl McMahon spade.
Hey!
That was wrote by Matt Dugan from Genoli, Derry Lane area. He wrote that in the 60s about the McMahon firm from Rosslea that made the McMahon spade. It's the most common spade in Fermanagh and surrounding counties. Very popular spade. There's another group too, Patterson, but McMahon was a favourite spade for the Fermanagh people.
Porridge. My porridge.
Is he eating your porridge? Oh, there's a hell of a way of doing the thing in the bog.
And he is sitting on a chair and doing nothing.
That's like an amazing option, look.
Why?
I'll let you read her now in a mic.
Until this morning then.
My feet are here on Broadway, this pleasant harvest mow, and hold the ache that's in them for the spot where I was born. My weary hands are blistered from toil and cold and heat, and all the ache that's in them to swing aside through Irish wheat. Had I the chance to wander back and hold the king's abode, I'd sooner see that old thorn tree on that old Bloat road. When I was young and restless and feeling ill at ease, dreaming of America and the gold beyond the sea. Oh, sorry rakes their money, 'tis hard to find the same. And what the world, if any man, never speaks your name. I've had my day and here I am, building bricks by load, 3,000 miles away from the old bog road. My mother died last springtime when Ireland fields were green. The neighbour says that wicked was the finest ever seen. There were snowdrops and primroses outside beside the bed, and Vernon's church was crowded when the funeral mass was said. But here was I on Broadway, building bricks by load, when they carried out a coffin down the old bog road. Now life's a weary puzzle, past finding out by man. I'll take the day for what it's worth and do the best I can. Since no one cares a rush for me or me to make a moan, I'd go my way, I draw my pay, and I smoke me pipe alone. Each human heart must know its grief, though little be it so. So God be with old Ireland and the old bog road.
That's it, maybe a couple of no others. Come on. I don't know. Go on.
On, Marnie.
The poem's called I'm Living in Drumlish, and it was written by a clergyman, the Reverend Marshall. He died in 1949, and he used to be round Tyrone. Drumlish does exist as a town land near 6 Mile Crossing Bridge of Tyrone. And he was round one day and he come across an old man in a bad way, and no street and clobber and door up to the door. And he was in this, the old man told him this story. I'm living in the Drumlister and I'm getting very old. I have to wear me an ninja bag to save me from the cow. And the other man in this town land was clear no rare than me, but I'm living in Drumlister in clobber to the knee. My dad lived up in Carman, he kept her serving by. His second wife was very sharp, he buried her with joy. Now she was thin and her name was Flynn, and she come from Cullentra, and if my short's a clatty short, the man to blames me da. Concerning women was a constant saying of his, keep well away from them that's thin, their tempers easy riz. Now I know too, I thought I'd do, and still I had my fears, so I kiffled back and forth between the two for years. Now Margaret had no fortune, but two rosy cheeks to plaise. The farmer land was Bridget's, but she took the pocked ears. Now Margaret she was nice and wee, and Bridget she was stout, and her face was like a child with a bowls pulled out. I'll tell a lie on Margaret, she thought the world of me, and to tell the truth my heart would leap the sight of her to see. But sure I was slow, you'd surely know the reason of it now. If I left her home to Carmen, my dad raised a row. So I kiffled back and forwards till Margaret got a man. A fella come from Corris Lane and left me just the one. I mind the day she went away, I had one stricken hour, and I cursed that wasp from Cullentra that left me dad so sour. But your crying cures no troubles, and to Bridget I went back and faced her there that night week behind her own turf stack. I stood her there and talked her fair and told her about the handy wife she'd make me. Talked about the land that shined and all, and begobs, she wouldn't take me. So I'm living in Drumlish and I'm getting very old. I creep to Carmen once a month to try to save me soul. And deal a man in this town land must claim her rare than me, but I'm dying in Drumlish and clobber to the knee. That's Marshall's phone. They wrote all in the Scotch-Irish, that's why it's so strange. But it's not that strange to us because we speak a lot of it. And old Dick Beatty used to speak in that language, or Scots or Scotch-Irish. And we are used to it, and there's a fair bit of it to our own language too. It's a mixture of Lowland Scots and English and Ulster Irish, all mixed together. All mixed together.
No.
Oh, we listen.
In the bog one summer's evening in the bog. And in one summer's evening in the bog one summer's evening.
This is Matt Diggin's poem about the one spring potatoes were scarce and dear, and he thought they were going to disappear, the young people weren't putting them in, so he wrote this poem. It seems that the pretty, once highly respected, is doomed for extinction, neglected, rejected, since Raleigh brought them in novelty here. They were seldom as scarce and never so dear. We grew them in ridges, and we grew them in drills, on the cutaway bogs and on the sides of the hills. We dibbled them, gurgled them, cut them in two, while the oftener we cut them, the more of them grew. We covered the cuts in the soil of the site, but they always come up to the warmth and light. We doused their leaves with a poisonous spray, still they flourished and blossomed in floral array. As for the cooking, how expert were we, fried boxty for breakfast, or Fredda bread tea, or boiled in their jackets, gastronomic perfection, all busting with goodness, a gourmet selection. 'Tis not that the pretty has fallen from favour, or lost its distinctive and editable flavour. It's not that the soil is reluctant to grow them, but it be that we are too lazy to sow them. But a lot of fresh soil has been torn this year. They may never again be as scarce or as dear. A word of encouragement, learners should know, when an Irishman plants them, the pretty will grow. Matt Dugan's. In a mean abode on the Shankill Road lived a man named William Bloat. He had a wife, the curse of his life, who continually got his goat. So one day at dawn, with her night dress on, he slit her bloody throat. With a razor gash, he settled the hash, who never was crime so quick. But the steady drip on the pillow slip of his wife's blood made him sick, and the pool of gore on the bedroom floor grew clotted, cold and thick. And yet he was glad he'd done what he had, as she lay there stiff and still. Then a sudden awe of the angry law turned his soul to an icy chill. So to finish the fun so well begun, he resolved himself to kill. He took a sheet of his wife's cold feet and twisted into a rope, and he hung himself from yon country shelf. 'Twas an easy end, let's hope. In the face of death, with his last breath, he solemnly cursed the Pope. But the strangest thing in this whole concern was only just beginning. He went to hell, and the wife got well. She's still alive and sinning, for that razor blade was her minuscule maid, but the sheet that was Belfast linen.
Didn't they bring a load of a pig?
You haven't put the tree along the side there.
Okay.
You haven't put the tree
No, I
along.
don't understand it at all. I have to head up to the again. I know what on that. I know what on the way home late. I don't know. I know that's not right.
Well, it should be hay that it's down the hay first.
The next one will be right now. That's the way well. That's the way we done it now. But you put your heart in here now.
By the wind gets in through them.
That's what old people used to do with it. Call it a windrow when they were finishing up along the bank. Put three like that with spacing on them. The wind.
The wind put it under them.
Aye. And that and the do it that way. Not getting enough it would be the first to dry and no grass or issues or anything.
This bowl we have soda flour and some pinch of sugar.
Salt.
Some salt. I'm adding raisins. I'm adding some raisins now. Giving it a wee mix round.
There's the buttermilk.
We're adding the buttermilk. Mixing around. Nearly ready. Bit of flour on the table there.
It's fairly hungry, isn't it?
Not stick to the table.
What's the fresh? Tara! You getting up?
No,
Come on.
that's mixture sorted out.
Which Tara? Stand your foot, you know what?
Oops. No, they need it.
Really, macaroni. I haven't raised it much. That's a puzzle in it. Are you coming down?
Second one. No, I didn't. It's part of the same batch. Making soda bread. Who made soda bread? There you go. Sit there. There's one bit of soda bread I made earlier. Oh, putting on there. Look, one is one sitting. One there.
Your rafts to be alright, just get the raft down slowly.
Brother wants to get a wee picture up here with the ballad.
Aye. Help to make, yes. Eerst toch komen uit. Eerst de bek.
Het is zo de checken over de schwek.
I don't think so. You're right. I don't think yeah. If that ever be a post into it. He did.
Better let it on, let your face, and the next day.